Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm always excited to be back here with you guys, but today I'm going to be talking about something a little heavy on my chest. It's a little bit of a heavier topic, just because this happened recently and I really feel like it needs to be addressed. So recently I had two friends pass away back to back. Honestly, I've had friends passing away since I was a teenager. Um, it seems in the last couple years, the severity, it seems to be getting worse. Like the progression of people passing away, but I am getting older, right? But most of these deaths are actually deaths that could be completely avoided. And if you guessed overdose, you guessed it right. Tons of overdoses. Okay, that's such a shame to lose such a young life because of an overdose. It's unnecessary, 100%. Am I saying that you guys should never party or have a good time? No. What you choose to do, what your version of party is entirely up to you. I'm just saying you should be safe, be careful. So recently, these two back-to-back deaths were overdose, like I said. Um, One was using hard drugs, so in my opinion, that's kind of the inevitable that something bad's going to happen eventually if you're using those types of drugs. But the other one is what really gets me. This one was caused by a bad line of cocaine. Yeah, I said it, cocaine. A bad line of cocaine. So a lot of people dabble in it and they're just fine. Um, but it's the luck of the draw. You never know when it's going to be a good or a bad line, pretty much, unless you're testing or you really know where you're getting it from. So this line just happened to be laced with fentanyl, which evidently killed my friend. Okay, Christmas time, really shitty of the year time to go. I mean, it's a bad time, any time to go, but even shittier. My friend went out and partied, thought everything would be good. It's Christmas time, little hoorah, time off to do whatever you want, but didn't think that they'd be leaving their children alone on Christmas. And that is the brutal reality of the situation. Their two children are now on their own. You kind of got to stop and ask yourself, is it really worth it? There's a lot of ways to have fun and even party, that you don't actually need drugs. It's getting really, really scary now. Like, personally, I don't even feel like it's worth it anymore. It's scary. You could make one decision and you change the rest of your children, your family, and your friends' lives forever, and it wasn't even worth it. Like, you could have just had a couple drinks or, went out sober. I've gone out sober many times. I've actually been around my friends who were dabbling and I just stayed sober and I actually stayed up late with them. But you just never know. It's the luck of the draw. You need to just be aware that these people never thought it was going to happen to them either. Nobody ever thinks that they're going to do a line or, do something and they're going to die from it. Otherwise, they wouldn't do it unless their intention was to overdose. But that's not what we're talking about today. So over these holidays, I know, especially New Year's, people are going to get riled up, want to have a good time. Even during this lockdown, people still find a way to do what they want to do. So I really urge you to be safe. Think about what you're doing. This is such a pandemic right now. Aside from COVID, we have a whole other pandemic of people doing drugs, and it's taking their lives. So just think about what you're doing before you do it. If you are going to do that, find out the source. Even maybe get these little testing packs, or maybe be prepared. Do it with a friend. So one, that they can call an ambulance if need be, and two, they actually have, I don't even know what it's called, but there's something that you can take that can actually stop you from dying when you take drugs. So like that might be a good thing to have. And really, really just, I don't know, be conscious of what you're doing, because in the end, it is not worth it to leave your friends and family and children without a mother or father on Christmas or at all. That's going to be a brutal Christmas to remember for their family. I truly, truly feel horrible. My heart goes out to them. And, this person wasn't a fall down. This person was just another ordinary person, who just decided one night that they wanted to kick it up a notch and have a little extra fun. So these things happen to everybody and anybody. And, it's just the luck of the draw. And if you're going to do hard drugs, Well, now it's just a matter of when. It's not if, it is literally a matter of when. I pretty much have a friend pass away. It feels like almost every month, but it's probably just a few times a year. But that's still too much. That's still too much. I'll be 30 next year, and realistically, I would say 90% of my friends who have passed away could have been completely avoided if they just didn't use drugs. Not hearing of people dying from drinking, but I'm hearing of people dying from drugs. So if you really want to, get loose and let those inhibitions down, maybe just have a couple drinks instead. Maybe just say no. I don't know. I just feel awful. I just couldn't even imagine what that would do to my family if I decided one night just to go on a little bender and never came back from it. I know my mom wouldn't be okay. She would not be okay at all. And I just could imagine doing that to my family. And I've worked so hard for everything I have. It would be so crazy for me to do something like that and then all of a sudden, like, life is over. Because there's so much life to live, and there's so many things you can do to have a good time other than even drink or do drugs. Like, I truly enjoy, I love traveling. It makes me feel so alive. I love karaoke. I love dancing. I love making like viral fun videos. I am just starting to like cooking. I love working out. There's just so many things, and you need to just find your passion and what interests you. Um, because if you're finding that you're partying all the time, you're literally just like a lost soul. And another thing I want to touch on is that, partying once in a while is okay. Obviously, if you're doing it safely, no judgment there. But when you are partying, you're literally not supposed to do it because you're upset. Like, there's too many people who are using it as a coping mechanism, and I find that's why they get addicted. I'm not gonna lie, I've dabbled in things and I've never had an issue with addiction, but every time I did dabble, I was like, hey, I want to have fun, let's get lit. You know what I mean? And I also know there's a ton of things I can do that are fun that I don't need to, use any kind of substances. So very, very important that you need to recognize that in yourself. Like, if you're having a bad day and you're like, oh, I need a drink, or oh, I need a line, or I just need to get fucked up, like, that's a bad sign. You are on a slippery slope because you're using it the wrong way. It's not intended to be an escape from reality like that at all. When you do that, that's when, before you know it, you're addicted. And let me tell you, I grew up with a mother who was addicted to drugs, and she never thought it would happen to her. In fact, she was a social worker. How the heck did it happen to her? She should have known better. But nobody is invincible, okay? People go into this lifestyle and they think that, they can handle themselves and it won't happen to them. But I'll give you an example. When I was young and I was 16 years old, I was an alcoholic. I didn't even know it. My mom at the time said, you're drinking way too much, you're an alcoholic, you need to stop. And I said, no, I'm fine. I just don't want to stop. And I didn't even realize that that decision of not wanting to stop is what made me an alcoholic. I was having fun and I didn't want to stop. I didn't see a problem with it. And it definitely did like take over my lifestyle. I was doing it pretty much every single day for a year. It was bad. I managed to get a boyfriend, and I managed to, I don't know what you want to call that, the little honeymoon phase where all you do is hang out with each other, and that got me to like calm down on my drinking, thankfully. But yeah, it's just like I didn't realize it while I was in the situation. That's what it was. It wasn't until years later I looked back and I went, wow, like I really was an alcoholic. Like, I didn't see it, but I just didn't want to stop. I thought I could stop whenever I wanted to, but it was a simple fact I didn't want to stop. There's definitely like functioning addicts and alcoholics, right? Where they could still work their full day of work, they still pay all their bills, but they're doing it every day. And like, I guess it's a better version of it, but you have to think about the health effects on your body. Eventually, everything catches up to you, and it will. And you just have to think it's a little bit selfish if you have family that you're just gonna leave them behind like that. So, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, think about other people, think about yourself. Just be conscious of all your decisions. At the end of the day, is that how you want to go out? Do you want to risk that possibly being how you go out? Because I know that's a huge wake-up call for me. because I'm not one of those people that like needs to do any of that to have fun. So if I died like that, it'd be ridiculous. Like, what a waste. It'd be so stupid. So yeah, just be so careful, guys. Just sending lots of love out there for anyone that's, you know, struggling with addiction themselves, or struggling with dealing with someone else with addiction. Feel free to reach out. I do personally have a ton of experience with dealing with those people. I don't have the experience of being an addict myself, but I still would love to help you guys. If you feel like you need any support, please reach out. And I can also just help you get whatever help that you need. But, you know, if you are addicted to any kind of drugs right now, I really hope that, you know, this moves you a little bit and you are thinking about how it's affecting your future and other people, and maybe you find the strength to reach out to get help. I wish everyone happy holidays right now. Just be safe, and I love you guys, and I will see you next time.